Hello and welcome to Picture This New Media. My name is Halal Ernie, and today I'm going to be going over tomorrow's new comic book day haul, new comic book day suggestions, and what I would suggest that you get and skip for tomorrow's haul. Um, but before we do that, I want to go ahead and invite you to check out my channel here. Right now, it's got 152 subscribers. Now, a little weird thing, I had 154 the other day on December 23rd, December 22nd, 152, and I had 154 there. And then on the 24th I had 53, and on the 25th I had 152. So let's try to get back up there to 154. My goal was to get 200 subs by the end of the year, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. But we'll keep it we'll keep our fingers crossed. So yeah, definitely check that out. I also have a Patreon. I don't have any patrons yet, but the first patron in my to be a patron of my channel will get this. Uh, and you have to be a patron for about a month. There we go. It's a Natsu Funko Pop. And if you don't want that, I have a bunch of other comic books and other things that I want to get rid of, and give out to my lucky winners and patrons. So yeah, if you're a patron, you'll have a chance to get a Funko Pop or other comic books I want to give away. There's going to be other things, like I have a watch party that's pretty much there for patrons. I'm going to be doing comic book dubs and manga dubs as well. So stay tuned for that. If you once I first get my first patron, I'll start doing them. So yeah, thank you so much. Let's get started without further ado. Let's get started with the new comic book days selection for this month or this week, and I have all kinds of errors today. Anyways, we'll be starting off with this first row here, and we'll be starting off with Detective Comics 1067. I'm probably not gonna get that one. I'm not really into that. So the Amazing Spider-Man, I recommend it for Spider-Man devout Spider-Man fans, but if you're a casual Spider-Man fan or just like Venom, it might not be the best for you. But Venom's in there, so I'll add it to my wish list, but not to my pull list. Not something I would buy personally, but if somebody bought it for me, I would not be complaining. Next up is the action version of DC. After that is Moon Knight number 18. Now, the Moon Knight comics of past, I heard, were really good, but it seems that these new comic books by Moon Knight aren't the greatest by Marvel. It's got writer Jed McKay. I don't know very much about him, so I can't really tell you if he's good or not. But yeah, I would personally skip it. But next up, I wouldn't skip by Marvel is Venom, issue number 14, I believe. Yeah, 14. Madeline Pryor has plans for Eddie Brock and the symbiotes he can control in this issue. She and her new ally, Chasm, bring them all to bear. Unwittingly turned into slathering and terrifying monsters you might recognize, Eddie Brock fears from last year's stand fully realize this is turning point for L. Ewing, Ram V, Brian Hitch's enthralling run on the title. And it's got a dark web tie-in too. Hence the whole dark web thing. L. Ewing. He's doing a good job with this one. I really like this Venom. I'll keep an eye out on this guy, L. Ewing. Let's see, he does. We only find them when they're dead. X-Men. Oh, he does that too. That's cool. Alright, well the next one is Nice House on the Lake by DC Comics. And this one I highly recommend. Really great title. Really great story. Basically, they are a group of friends and acquaintances of this guy right here, and they get taken into this house, and the world is basically destroyed. But he keeps providing everything for them, and there's a lot of drama and craziness that entrails with this very comic book. So I definitely recommend the story. I recommend this, and yeah, just definitely get it. My stuttering and repetition is about to take control. Get it, for sure. Next up is DC versus Vampires, issue number 12. Now, I haven't really read any of them per se. I've read some of the ones in the past. It's getting good reviews on it. I don't know how they're getting it, but it's definitely I recommend it. I'll recommend it, but I won't get it myself. So yeah, that's definitely something to check out, but not something on my list. Next up is Batman Beyond the White Knight. I am going to skip it. Haven't heard much on it. But let's see here. The writer is Sean Murphy, so take that with what you will. Next up is New Mutants, issue number 33. I'm gonna do a hard pass on that one. Same with She-Hulk. I'm gonna skip both of those Marvels. But another Marvel one I am gonna get is Carnage. Carnage, issue number 8. Now this series has been a really crazy ride, and there's been a lot of craziness going on, and yeah, I highly recommend this one. Carnage, a symbiote, traveled to Asgardian Hell with a very specific mission on its mind, reaching Malekith, the curse. But to what end? What could the symbiote be trying to do with the fallen Dark Lord of Elves and Lord of Dark Elves? And yeah, this guy's powers, he's been able to absorb other people's powers and use them against other people, because he basically takes their powers and takes their life in doing so. So yeah, he breaks them down to like the molecular level and takes their powers. It's really cool concept, and I highly recommend this one. Next up is Harley Quinn, issue number 25. I've said multitude of times that I do not like the direction that Harley Quinn has taken. So I'm going to do a hard pass on that one. Same with, definitely not the same with. I'm going to get King Spawn. I almost made a boo-boo there. Issue number 18, the Disruptor takes a walk through the fire pits of hell in search of a perfect gift. Meanwhile, Spawn and the King Slayer join forces to stop a monster. Sounds really cool. I haven't caught up with it fully yet. I think I'm like on number 10 or 11. But yeah, I definitely recommend this one. I'm going to get it. Next one is Riddler Year 1. I am going to skip it personally, but I did hear some good things about this. Let's see here. And it's got a 98% here on the reviews from the last issue. Only seeing a couple of 3s on here. So yeah, definitely I recommend this if you're a Riddler fan, but yeah, not really my cup of tea. Next up is Midnight Suns, issue number 4 by Marvel. I'm going to skip it. I like the cover, but definitely, I think I just like this character. But other than that, it's not really calling me. Next up is Dark Web X-Men issue number 2. Not really sure what they're going for with the whole Dark Web series, but I am not interested in X-Men's direction, so I'm going to skip that. Same with Exterminators number 4, I'm going to skip that. But I am liking Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man. This one's been a pretty interesting ride. With Demon Bear and everything. So yeah, I'm all in for this one. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely suggest that one. But I'm gonna skip Star Wars Dr. Afra and Captain America Symbol of Truth. I'm gonna skip that as well. Not really a fan of either of those two. Star Wars have been ruined for me. So all these two I'm going to skip as well. And Timeless issue number 1 I am going to skip. Star Wars The High Republic issue number 3 I'm going to skip. Not really interested in any of these. This one was good for a little bit, then the writing got really bad towards the middle, so I dipped out. Yoda, I can't imagine what they're doing to this poor guy. Let me see. I did notice that issue number 1 did get a decent score, but yeah, I can't for the life of me. Want a part of this. Yeah. And it's when he was after he was living in exile too, so I don't know, it seems like canon breaking and just something that's not good. Timeless, I don't even know who he is, but not interested. Tim Drake, Robin, issue number 4. That one seems interesting, but not really something I want to read. Next up is Star Wars The High Republic, The Blade, issue number 1. Part 1. Hundreds of years before Skywalker Saga witnessed the rise of the legend, the mighty Jedi Porter Engle. Perhaps the most skilled lightsaber wielder in the High Republic, with his fellow Jedi Knight Barash. He travels the galaxy serving as guardian of peace and justice, but even Porter Engle has enemies he cannot defeat. I'm gonna do a pass on this one. Not really digging the whole yeah, it looks like he does a lot of stuff that I don't like. I don't know, curse words is pretty good though. Yeah, this one's hard to read, so I'm gonna skip. I'm just gonna do the safe thing and skip. Yeah, it looks like a safe thing to do is skip. Who knows, it might be good. But I'm gonna skip it. Next up is Thunderbolts, issue number 5 by Marvel Comics. I am going to skip that one. Not really interested or know anything of the story, but I'm going to also skip Strange Academies by Marvel Comics and Boom Studios. We only find them when they're dead. Um, I am going to leave this open for suggestion though. If you are caught up with the story, it'd probably be really cool. Um, I am not, but it sounds like something I missed out on. Next up is Punchline, the Gotham game. I highly recommend this one, and I am gonna get it. Highly recommend it. Highly suggest it. Really good story. It's not a Joker fangirl, so it's just good. Since she's not another Joker fangirl. There's really a lot from Marvel and DC in this. Next up is Marvel's Doctor Strange Fall of the Sunrise. Got a cool cover, but I'm gonna skip it. DC Comics, DC Horror presents Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead, issue number 4. I'm gonna skip it. Not caught up with that story. Don't care. Extreme X-Men. This sounds like a cool. Let me see here. Cool start. Let's see. Chris Claremont is the writer, so this one might be worth it. I'm gonna put a want on that. Logan heads the hunt for Oregon. The Extreme X-Men have reunited to aid their comrade Kitty Pryde. Oh god. But as Wolverine leads the hunt for their mutual enemy Ogun, Rachel uncovers a dark secret, and what does Purity hope to gain from this chaos of mutant battles? Chris Claremont, Salvador Cora, Extreme, New Level. That sounds pretty interesting, actually. Gambit's in there, Catherine Pride, Rogue's in there, Wolverine, Sage. I'm going to skip it, though. Not really. I don't know. It's just the story didn't capture me there. So, yeah. Next up is Gotham Knights, the Gilded City, issue number 3. I am going to skip it, but I'm going to recommend it. Next up is Murder World Spider-Man issue number 1. There's so much Spider-Mans now. And I don't know if I can take it. Murder World Part 2, just like flies, the Murder World stream will not be stopped as dwindling contestants grow more desperate. Yeah, I'm gonna do a hard pass on this one. Sounds silly. Sounds like basically what that reminds me of is a really edgy teenager writing a Spider-Man story. Next up is Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, issue number 6. Not caught up with the story, don't know much about it. Looks like the rings are broken, so if you want interested in that, I'd recommend it, but I am going to skip it. All Out Avengers, issue number 4, I'm going to skip it. Miracle Man, The Silver Age, issue number 3, I'm going to skip as well. Although I am hearing mixed reviews, both good and bad on this one. So, yeah. Let's see here. Got Neil Gaiman on there, so it's the original. I don't know. It might be worth it. It might be worth it for people who are fans of him in the past. Next up is Image and Skybound's Creepshow number 4. If you are a horror comic book fan, I'd recommend that. Next up is Blue Beetle Graduation Day, issue number 2. Now, I did hear some good reviews on this one, so I am going to leave this one open to suggestions. If you think this is a good one, please let me know in the comments. And in the... Yeah, I'd really like to see if this one's good. Let's see here. It's got a 94. Got a lot of... Let's see here, more mad. DC's going through the motions here. Felt like a new 52. I have no idea what he's talking about. next up is, so I'm gonna skip it, but I'm gonna suggest it to people who like it. Next up is Book of Slaughter, issue number 1. Now, wow. The future of the Slaughterverse is laid bare by something's killing the children and the House of Slaughter's creators. James Tynion, Werther de Eldra, and the very first one-shot special. Something's Killing the Children one-shot special. From the sidelines to the spotlight, Book of Slaughter follows a white masked Maxine Slaughter, but will her loyalties remain where they are, or will she show her true colors? In addition to being a precursor to an upcoming chapter of both series, this special feature is a sizable guidebook that delves into the deep lore of the Order of St. George. Woohoo! I'm going to get it, even with that giant price tag. Yikes. Next up is Damn Them All, issue number 3 by Boom Studios. I am going to skip it. It seems like a good one that most people will like, but it just the description didn't capture me at all. Next one is Image number 9. I'm gonna skip it. Same thing with Tales from Earth Earth 6. A Celebration of Stan Lee. I'm going to skip it. Price tag, and I'm not interested. John Stewart, The Emerald Knight. I am going to skip it as well. Not interested. Although, it is a dark-skinned Black Lantern. Is this the original Green Lantern? I don't know. I'll just put it on the want, because it doesn't look like, I don't know. Looks cool, but I don't know. Next up is Philadelphia, issue number 26. If you're a fan of Philadelphia, I'd recommend continuing the story because it is great. I am not even close to caught up, but yeah, I recommend this one. Highly recommend it. Next up is Wonder Woman Historia, the Amazons, issue number 3. I'm going to skip it. Manifest Destiny, number 48. I'm going to skip it, and I am going to recommend it though. If you're caught up with it, same with same as Philadelphia. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, issue number 2. I am going to get. I really actually liked the first one. I didn't think I was going to like it, but it was actually pretty cute, a little interesting, and yeah, I recommend it. I do recommend it. The whole place that they're in, yeah, it's very interesting. There's, like this description says it all. Jason Aaron and his brother Alexandra, or sister, I forgot. Fable of a bleak future continues in Makeo Emezi's childhood years, with nothing but Mezi's guidebook and her skills as a wastelander to get them through the dangerous post-apocalyptic journey. I mean, that sounds super awesome to me. Next up is Young Justice Targets, issue number 6. I'm going to skip it. Not a Young Justice fan. DC Mech. I see what they're trying to do, but it's not fooling me. I'm not interested. Lovesick, issue number 3. I didn't get issue number 1 or 2. Wasn't really interested in the story, but it's a Red Room thing. yeah, if you're interested into horror comics, and it might be fascinating to you, but to me it wasn't that great. Next up is Sandman Universe presents the Dead Boy Detectives. If you're interested in the Sandman universe, this might be interesting to you. I am going to skip it. Mighty Morphin Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I guess it's a crossover. I'm going to skip it. Sounds interesting, but not enough for me to get it. Peter Parker and Miles Morales, Spider-Man Double Trouble, issue number 2. I'm going to skip it. Hard pass on that one. Dynamite 007 number 5. I am going to skip it. Not. I am a 007 fan from way back when, but not in comic book form. I like the old movies. Next up is Batman: The Audio Adventures, issue number 4. I'm going to skip it. There's too much Batman stuff out, and being very selective, and that one's I'm not interested in at all. Next is Plush, issue number 2 by Image Comics. I highly recommend this one, especially if you're a nerd that likes anime. I'm just gonna turn on the fan. It's hot as hell in here. Especially if you're a fan of anime and you know the whole furry community. It's like a murder thing with the furry community. It'll make you giggle. Next up is Sacrament, issue number 5 by AWA and Upshot. I recommend this one, but I'm gonna skip it to lower my haul, and it's just something that I do like horror, but I'm really selective with my horror comics because I'm a Muslim, and two, there's just so many. Next up is Immortal Red Sonja, issue number 9. I love Red Sonja and her universe, so I'm gonna highly suggest that one. Next up is West of Sundown, issue number 7 by Vault Comics. This one's very interesting story where this guy is going around and with the vampire wife, but I haven't caught up with it yet. But I guess now there's a bunny-eared mask guy, so we'll see what's going on with that. I'm excited. Next up is Flawed, issue number 4 by Image Comics. I'm not sure about this one. It didn't look too interesting to me. Yeah, it just wasn't. It's not that interesting to me. Higgs undergoes a horrific transformation. Let's see. We'll go with issue number 1. So she's a psychiatrist living in Kafka's city of Setham, where corruption and brutality rule the streets. By day, she uses words to solve problems, and by night, she does the superhero approach, or the crime fighting approach. So, and she's trying to fight an immortal serial killer. So if that interests you, go ahead and get it. But to me, it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't interest me at all. Next up is 20th Century Men, issue number 5. I did like the first couple issues, but I don't know. It just wasn't that great to me. It just, I don't know. I didn't. It's hard to describe what way I felt about this comic. It's just I lost interest basically. It was cool, but I lost interest real fast. Next up is She Bites by Scout Comics, issue number 3. This one's a cutesy one. I know it sounds pretty lame after coming off the 20th Century Men, but basically She is a vampire with the body of a 9-year-old girl. Um, well, she's not. She's goodness. This issue goes where Brenda Zelinsky's in trouble. Where Brenda Zelinsky's our main character after agreeing to babysit an Elsie, the 9-year-old vampire. 9-year-old. And a fun night at the mall turns into a nightmare. Even disposing of a body gets added to her list of babysitter duties. So it's just a fun teenage kind of thing, uh, young adults comics, and it's for mature readers, so it is a young adult comics. So I don't know, it's fun if you want some uh, fun comics with a little bit of comedy and murder. Then this one's for you. It's got the style of manga, and yeah, I highly recommend it. Next up is Frankenstein: The New World, issue number 4. I do recommend it. I'm just gonna skip it myself personally. It's a good story, and it talks about Frankenstein and just a different version of a different take, and it goes into the Hellboy universe. So yeah, definitely check that one out especially if you're a Hellboy fan. Next up is Grim Fairy Tales, issue number 67. Um, by Zenoscope. I'm a fan of Zenoscope. It just seems that I never get the full issues at my local comic book shop, so uh, I recommend it if you're a fan. And next up is Bloodshot Unleashed, issue number 4. By Valiant Comics. I highly recommend this one. Um, it's a really good story, the Bloodshot series, and yeah, let's see here. Vision of his past. So this kind of goes to the prior events of issue number 1 of Bloodshot Unleashed. And yeah, definitely recommend this one. Really bloody, manly man comic book. Next up is, let's see here, Year Zero, Volume 0, issue number 3 by AWA Upshot Comics. I did get the issue number 1 of this. I don't remember reading it, but AWA Upshot does some really good comics and really good artistic style. Their stories tend to drag on a little bit sometimes, but this is a 5-part miniseries, so this one I do recommend it. And yeah, definitely get it. This one by Oni Press, Blink, issue number 5. I actually do recommend it, but I just failed to get the first issue, so I do recommend this one. Door to Door, Night by Night, issue number 2. I am going to skip by Vault Comics, Nightfall. It's just, it didn't look, the art didn't attract me to it. Just looked cheesy. If I saw this cover, I might have had a different idea of it, but yeah. It's just not something I looked interested in, especially after seeing what the actual interior looks like. Next up is The Roadie, issue number 4 by Dark Horse Comics. It looks like it's taking on a good, interesting new turn. It sounds pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. Didn't interest me from the start, but I kind of looks like I'm regretting getting this one. It's a horror saga for heavy metal music and redemption. So if you're a heavy metal fan, you might actually like this one. Yeah, definitely check this out. It's coming out in trade paperback soon. This one's not going to show up at my comic book shop. My Hero Academia came out on Christmas, so get that if you get the chance. Forever Forward by Scout Comics. I did start this one, but I didn't like it very much. Let's see here. See if I can remember why. Okay, so he launches himself, his secret longtime crush, and three best friends of 33 years into a future with unproven quantum time mechanics. Okay. So it just sounded very convoluted and very not. I don't know. I didn't like it at all. I just didn't like it. It was very convoluted, a little bit confusing. They're trying to say too much in such a short amount of space. It just wasn't good. Was not good. So I don't recommend this one. Ninjets, it was lame. I don't recommend it. Night of the Living Dead Reverence, issue number 2. Again, if you like horror comics, I do recommend this one. It's actually American Mythology Productions does really good comics. This one's not going to come in. Bad Idea Comics stopped coming in. Too expensive. Jujutsu Kaisen issue number 208 came out on the 25th on Christmas. Alpha Betas, I do kind of regret not getting this one. It is pretty funny. I did read it online, so I do recommend it if you like funny things that picks at like gamers and nerds and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Next up is Pink Lemonade. My fiance likes that one a lot, and it's actually pretty cute. It's not that bad. I actually like it. It's a fun, cute little story with this chick in a bike suit, and yeah, just read it. Next up is Bill and Ted's Excellent Holiday Special. Nothing special. I bought issue number 1 of a Bill and Ted comics, and it was actually kind of lame, so I don't recommend this one. But if you're a Bill and Ted fan, a big time Bill and Ted fan, you might like it. My fiance was a big time Bill and Ted fan, and she hated it. So there you go. Next up is My Bad by issue number 2 by Ahoy Comics. You. Alright. Sorry about that. Next up is, let's see, Dead Kingdom. I would get if I was, if they showed up at my comic book shop. My Bad, I do recommend it. It's really funny, interesting comic book, and it's just basically silliness, the silly side of comic book heroes. So if you like that, to look at that, that would be interesting to look at. Next up is Opus's Halloween Seekers: The Seven Keys. I don't recommend that one. It's like I said, if you like horror comics, that one might be good. Um, Saga of a Doomed Universe. I have not read, so I can't really say if this is good or not. Impossible Jones, Naughty or Nice. I would say stay as far away as possible away from Impossible Jones. It is by far the worst comic book in Scout Comics history. It is awful. The worst comic book ever. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Next up is Saga of a Doom Universe 3. So I don't know what it is. It looks. Let's see. Let's see what it's about. Bronze Age comic ends here. It's 1984. The Earth's greatest hero, a masked champion, finds himself powerless against this impending apocalypse. Meanwhile, original series creator Burt Colt hijacks everyone's plans as he uncovers a horrifying reality behind the story. It sounds pretty cool. Sounds pretty cool. It's just so expensive. $8.99. Let's see. Is this one? Is that the same price? Yeah. See, it's $8.99 and $8.99. No, that's just too much. Uh, Next up is Red Winter's Fallout, issue number 1 by Scout Comics. The last time we saw Joseph Winter, he was fleeing the scene of a massacre at Moscow oil refinery, which decimated the ranks of Capitonia's rival gangs and it left his father Eli dead. Now Joseph is on his own, desperate to find his way out of a city that seems hell-bent on killing him. Vasily is out for blood, and the Moscow police force is closing in too. But help comes from a very unlikely source. At the same time, local detective Max Warren is assigned to the refinery case, all while an American agent is tasked with doing whatever it takes to keep a lid on what's really happening. Kind of sounds just like anti-Russian stuff. I'm not sure. I know that the other Red Winter was, I don't know. I recommend it if you like the whole spy thing. I'm gonna skip it, but it sounds pretty good if you like the whole spy versus spy thing. It's a lot. Alright. Next up is... I'm gonna skip Essentia. I don't think we get that. I'm gonna skip the Antarctic Press one. Source Point Press A Guardian issue number 3. I'm gonna skip it. Looked pretty lame to me. I wouldn't touch it if I were you either. Room Service looks pretty cool judging by the cover. World War 3 Raid on Tokyo issue number 1 by Antarctic Press. That sounds pretty cool. I really liked World War 3. The other comic, it's a manga style, so I don't know. I do recommend this one. I'll add it to my pull list even. Mortimer and the Lazy Bird, issue number 1 by Scoot and Scout Comics. I recommend it if you're trying to get kids into comics. Next up is Jungle Comics by, I'm going to skip the Antarctic Press, I'm going to skip Red 5. Maeve Rising Warrior, though, it looks pretty dope. If that does show up, I will get it. Chainsaw Man, Black Clover, get those if you get the chance. Planet Comics, skipping that. Xenoscope, Wonderful Annual, A Wonderful Life, issue number 1. I'm going to skip it, but I do recommend it if you like annuals. Let's see here, The Unwarranted, I don't know what that is. Spark of Chaos, issue number 3. I do recommend not getting this one. It was lame. It was really, really lame. Next up is Category 0 Conflict issue number 1 by Scout Comics. Tensions heat up as rioters take the streets in protest against Synaxis and their brutality towards one percenters. The truth behind Strix, Origin Uncovered, and Jade Shadows. Yeah, doesn't sound very interesting to me. Sounds like a lot of things that we need to find out about the things to figure out anything about it. So I'm gonna do a hard pass on this one. Comics Experiencing Divide, issue number 1 by CEX. When Salem is separated from his family and imprisoned with countless other Muslims and immigrants, he and his allies develop a plan to return home. But they escape before the prison's supernatural secret consumes them all, inspired by current events. It's a Arab writer. I don't know. I don't know about this. Yeah, I don't know about this. Yeah, this makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't think I'm gonna get that one. But I am gonna get Stabbity Bunny, issue number 12. The heart-wrenching conclusion to the first storyline is here. Stabbity is in pieces, and Grace's family must turn to unlikely allies to fight in their survival. The foe has never been more powerful, and ruthless focus on revenge claims another character's life before the final battle begins. In an aftermath of finale, Stabbity takes a whole new direction. A preview of the next series included in this oversized issue. I am all for it. I will get it. I'm probably not gonna get these ones aren't gonna show up. Yeah, these ones aren't gonna show up at my comic book shop. Ninja High School I do like, and I will put it on a pull list, so I do recommend that one. The Double Vision issue number 3, I didn't like Thud very much. It was a really good concept, but the way he just did it and finalized it, turned out really bad, and I did not like the direction it went towards the end. So and it's overpriced as well, so I'd stay away from this one if I were you. Manga Z, I would love it if they did this. So I would get this if my comic book shop got it. This one's not showing up at my comic book shop. Felt Tip isn't. None of these are. Divide number 2. Oh. Let's see. Yeah, this just looks silly. I'm glad I'm skipping that one. So yeah, all these ones aren't gonna show up in my comic book shop, so except for the Spy Family one. So yeah, if you like what you saw here, please let me know. If you think I skipped ones, if you think I chose wrong, let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching, and please sign up for my Patreon when you get the chance. Patreon.com/PictureThisNewMedia. Thank you so much for watching. Salam alaikum. Have a great day.